Welcome everyone. Today's fun little pod off is all about personal branding. My name is Grace Hardy and I'm the CEO of Hardy Accounting, and I've pretty much built my business from social media.
Personal branding, wasn't it? My name is Aaron Patrick. It's great for you all to be here today, and everyone who's watching online as well. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Buffy's, and also a friendly podcaster who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. So, Grace, let's start with your journey. Let's start with why suddenly you went from no one's ever heard about you to suddenly everyone's heard about you. Go for it.
Irritated by me and can't get rid of me.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but no.
It's better if it comes from me.
Yeah.
I think for me it was just about posting consistently, doing those pain points, giving away free knowledge. And to be honest, I just wanted to turn from a nobody into a somebody. And you can only do that through consistent posting.
Yeah.
Being yourself, having your unique USP, which is you, telling your story, and just being a bit out there, and also just having a personality. I always say to people, they always go, how do you do well on LinkedIn? And it's just having an ounce of a personality, and you can really stand out on LinkedIn.
I mean, it's interesting you choose LinkedIn. What was why LinkedIn? What was the reason for you to go for that platform? Or are you doing all the platforms?
I'm doing all of the platforms. It's a headache. But for me, the purpose of each one is different. So TikTok is to get those initial leads.
Yeah.
Then they go onto Instagram. You take care of them, you nurture them. They send you a DM, you book a call, all of that stuff. But for me, LinkedIn is something completely separate. That's the means for telling my story. And that's where I get a lot of speaking gigs and brand deals and podcast opportunities and sponsorships come from LinkedIn. They don't really come from the other platforms.
It is truly growing that network, isn't it? The whole LinkedIn side of things. So out of all those ones that you've just talked about there, out of all the social media platforms, which one do you enjoy the most? You've got a reason to be on all of them. I get that. What's the one that gives you the most enjoyment out of using?
I think it's LinkedIn and TikTok.
Ooh,
TikTok
I am surprised about that, but go for it.
I love it because you can just authentically be your silly self and say anything, and it's just so informal, and I love that aspect of it. LinkedIn I love because you can really just connect with people you would never connect with in any other circumstance. But where did you start? What platform?
So my personal story is I went for a platform that I loved and I consumed, and I went with, which was YouTube.
Oh, love that.
YouTube's not the typical one, and I don't think anyone else would probably choose YouTube as the one going forward. But I chose YouTube because I understood it, right? And I think that's one of the problems we kind of have. We see the great work that you're doing. We see the great work that other people in our industry are doing. And I think sometimes we sit there and we go, let's just mimic what they're doing. Let's just copy. Let's try and just be them on that platform. But realistically, the platform that you should start out with to find your feet, to really grow your personal brand, has to be a platform that you understand, right? Has to be a platform you enjoy. Has to be a platform that you would want to watch content on yourself. And for me, YouTube's always been that one. YouTube has always been that content platform that I understood the metrics. I understood what people liked. I understood how to bring it there. So that's where I started to build my personal brand, and then able to hopefully duplicate it going forward. But I want to ask you a question. You're one of the few people I know who's been able to duplicate their success on each individual platform. Most people find a platform they really like, because like I've said, my personal story is it was a platform that I engaged with.
Yeah.
They'll probably find another one that will work for them. Maybe it's quite similar platform. Maybe there's a reason that the audience will jump from one to the other. But most people are not able to tackle all the platforms. What's your secret?
It genuinely is pumping out content like you're a crazy person. And most people in their business spend a lot of time doing the internal stuff, the bookkeeping, the accounting, the outreach. I spend the majority of my time creating and making content and researching content. And so sometimes when people are like, oh, you should spend half a day in your business doing content, I probably spend half my week doing content, maybe more. And so I think for me, that's the difference, because I put so much time and effort into it.
Love that.
But for me, I've never seen it that way. There's always things that we're always doing better. For me, I hated Instagram. I couldn't get it. And then once I got it, it went up dramatically, and that was amazing. And so it's just testing and understanding how each platform works. Because for ages, terrible on LinkedIn and people knew me from TikTok.
Yeah.
And I remember I met Jo Wood for the first time and she was like, "You're Grace Hardy from TikTok." And Bev said the same because my TikTok was growing so much.
Yeah.
But now people know me from LinkedIn. I went to a birthday party the other day and they were like, "You're Grace Hardy from LinkedIn." And so I've been able to just put a lot of time and effort and understand how these platforms work.
I love that. And you say you get it. So let's just dive into this you get it part, right? Are you saying you get it from a creator point of view, or was it you were getting it from a consumer, a content consumer point of view?
I think they're two very different things.
Exactly.
And so I was understanding it from a creator point of view. So I know what videos work well for me and I know what videos don't work well for me. And that took a lot of testing, months of testing, hundreds of different videos. But I now understand what works well for me and what doesn't work well for me. And I did that on LinkedIn too. And so it was just that sort of A/B testing. What hooks work, what hooks don't work, what colours, subtitles do people like, what do they not like? And sort of understanding that, what are people going to warm to, what outfit should I be wearing? I started off all my reels wearing suits, which was terrible, and those videos are still up now, and they're like, they make me want to puke, they're disgusting, but you have to start somewhere, and it's not going to be perfect. Then I went all relaxed like I am now, and they were so much more engaging because I felt more authentic. I think people could see, I mean, I can see in retrospect, I felt so uncomfortable in those videos. I think everyone else can see that too. Whereas now people know that I'm comfortable, and I think it makes them more relaxed as viewers.
I love that. Love that tip. So let's peel back the behind the scenes then. In my mind, I'm thinking you've got this fantastic solution, this subscription, you're paying hundreds of pounds a month to get all that rich analytics, but are you? Is that how you're doing it? How do you said A and B testing? Is that literally just using the platform's stats, or is there some secret software that we don't know about?
There's not a secret software. I'm sure that there is. But everything I've done, growing my personal brand and on social media, has been 100% organic.
Love it.
I've never paid anyone for anything. I've never paid for any ads. I've just done it all myself from scratch.
I love that. So you're literally using the platform itself, understanding it, and like you said, A and B testing, it's directly from there, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. Because I'll always remember when I first started out and I was growing in popularity in my YouTube channel, I thought I'd smashed it, right? I thought I had a secret for you all that was going to change the way that you produce content going forward. And that was getting this piece of software that basically duplicates it to every platform.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the eyes that I should have seen before I did it. So I used to just go onto this piece of software, upload once, press duplicate. Funnily enough, it didn't do too well for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
Top tip I do is I post more on TikTok and then I reuse it onto Instagram.
Yeah.
What I do is I use a website, it's also an app called Snaptic, and you can copy and paste your TikTok video in there, and then it takes off the watermark so that Instagram doesn't pick up on it, so those videos perform so much better. Awesome.
I love that tip. All right, let's talk about why bother. Why are we bothering with personal brands? What's it done for us? Well, at what point have we seen any gain from it? Do you want to go first? Of what was the reason behind it?
So for me, it was to get clients. That was the initial point.
Love that.
And I hated networking, didn't want to do it. So I thought, if I'm not going to network, how am I going to get clients? Social media. I didn't really know how it worked, but I saw other people in other industries doing it. So I was like, oh, guess I can just do it too. So that was the main purpose of it. But now it's actually just building myself and actually building another revenue stream. So through sponsorship deals or ads or the platforms themselves, you can get paid through a couple of them. And for me, that's been brilliant, like incredible. But what about you?
So for me, it was always about trying to get my voice out there. So being in the industry, we've all seen ourselves probably go, that's not quite how I'd want to do it. Or especially in my background, I started in a corporate accounting world and I was being told this is the way I had to do things. It was, I had to do bank reconciliation this way. I'd choose this piece of software. My client had to do things that way. And I was being told that this is the way to do it. And it's because back then, that's the only way we did it. No one was disrupting. No one was coming in and changing the way, or at least trying to have a say or a voice in how it was done. So for me, it was my opportunity to go, there's a better way to use a piece of software, or there's a better way that software that we're using on a day-to-day basis could work for us, right? The most frustrating thing that I had when I was setting up and growing and getting my practice off the ground was that I was having to make compromises all the time. You know, I had this onboarding solution that I would love to have implemented for my clients, but I wasn't able to do it because this piece of software was stopping me from doing it, or I wasn't able to link this software to that software. But actually, talking to the vendors and creating a relationship with them and getting an authority in the industry, which is what my YouTube channel was able to give me, gave me that chance to be at that table to say, look, your software's amazing, but if you tweak this bit and you tweak that bit and maybe talk to this person or talk to that one, suddenly we do it. And for me, the gratitude out of that is we all benefit, right? The more we can make our software better for each other, the more we can go for it, can really give us an opportunity. And without the YouTube channel, as almost a bit of a leverage. Yeah. It's almost a bit of a, well, if I annoy him, he's going to go ranting on YouTube and tell the secrets of everything that's going to go. You kind of give you that opportunity to have that authority and open those up. And then we get to talk, and then we get to do things like this, and like,
yeah. 100% agree. And I think just to build on that, for me, it was, I didn't see a lot of people in the industry that looked like me.
Yeah,
and that was very scary at the beginning. And I thought I was like trying to penetrate something that I wouldn't necessarily almost be allowed into. And I think by building a personal brand and just putting myself out there and being like, this is me, this is what I'm doing things differently because I want to. You have to be the change that you want to see.
Definitely.
And that was great. And then also, just from a Gen Z point of view, it means that now with my platform, I can speak to vendors and people and get them to listen because I have the following. And again, using that leverage.
I love it. And you mentioned about getting clients out of it, which is definitely a byproduct, and it's definitely worked for me. My favorite bits about getting clients through this way is you're getting those authentic clients, the ones that already have that trust in you, already have
They've seen me cry on TikTok. Like, how much more authentic do you want me to be?
Exactly. They've made that decision that you're right for them. Now you've just got to make sure that they're a right fit for you, right? And that's such an easier conversation to have with a new client, is making sure that we can do best for you, or we're going to be able to help you in your journey, or we're going to understand your business to the way we go. Instead of before, it was battling, are we right for you? Are you right for me? At least that way we've sorted that side out and we can concentrate on the important bit, right?
100%. And I think that's what's so good about the discovery calls, is it's really, they've been like, oh, I've seen you like loads of times, or I saw you at this talk, or I saw this post that you posted, and that really resonates with me. And that's, oh, amazing, brilliant, but do I resonate with you? Am I going to be the best accountant for you? And we're very harsh in the way that we do things. If I don't think I'm a good fit for you, or we don't vibe, I'm going to pass you on to someone else, because there's going to be a better accountant out there for you than me. Because if you take someone on, which we've probably all done in the beginning, where you think you're a good fit and you want the revenue, you want the turnover, but realistically that relationship isn't long lasting and it's going to cause you issues in the future, and you're just doing it selfishly. Whereas I've learned to be less selfish and say, you're an amazing person, you're doing a great job, but your industry, I don't know, but I know someone who knows it better than me.
Definitely. So we've talked about all the nice things and the good things. Let's get some of the juicy gossip out of it, right? Let's give the guys what they want, right? They're here to have some juicy gossip. So let's talk about some things that maybe we didn't do right first time. Anyone you want to start with? Or do you want me to go first?
No, I think a lot of things I didn't do right at the beginning was not being myself, because viewers and everyone else just saw through that so blatantly, and that my content wasn't doing very well. And then as soon as I was authentic, that's when it did really well. But it's also posting consistently. You can't just post once and think your whole life is going to change, you're going to be this amazing influencer and like blah, blah, blah. That's not going to happen. You need to post consistently to engage your audience, and it feels so stupid and cringy at first. But then as soon as you've got the following, everyone else is like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? There are people that made fun of me at the beginning of my journey that now ask me the tools and the things I've put in place to get to where I am now.
I love that advice. Mine was, maybe I made a mistake becoming the QuickBooks chap. You know, it's
big brand.
Yeah, it's a big brand, but it has closed doors for me, right? There's been opportunities that I'm not allowed to take, or there's certain solutions out there that won't talk to me, right? And you've got to make that decision. Is it right to, for me, the QuickBooks chap gave me that pedestal. It took me to that next level, but was it the right thing to do? I'm still learning from that and still understanding. My brand is now very much towards QuickBooks. There's no denying that, and there's no going there. And you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. My other bit that I definitely learned is brand fatigue.
Yeah.
So for me, we've got Ask the Accountant brand, we've got the Bofix brand, we've got the QuickBooks Chat brand, I can roll them off. And in the Ask the Accountant brand, there's a QuickBooks Labs brand, and there's the Pitstop Podcasts, and there's the Gridwalk brand, and they keep going, right? And it becomes so confusing. To the point, even I was confused about which brand does which. Go there. And I feel like sometimes we just get carried away, don't we? It's those excitement, it's all that creativity going out there. We just need to take a step back, don't we, sometimes?
Yeah, and I struggle with that with my ADHD. I love taking on new projects, but I almost make sure all my projects have the same name. So obviously, I first started the Unconventional podcast.
Yep.
And now everything else has the name Unconventional. So I've got the Unconventional Academy, Unconventional Branding, the Unconventional Fund, and like they just are just keeping it almost in line. So everything is either got Hardy on it or Unconventional, and those are the only two names.
Love that. Love that advice. Right, Grace. Let's look at this from a analytical point of view. Where do you want to take your brands going forward? What is there a magic number? Is there, or is it just purely based on all you want to do is just maximize your potential?
I think it's personally just about making change and like being more visible. I don't think there's any specific number because one, I'm greedy. I always thought once I hit 100 followers, I'll be happy, 1,000 followers, 10,000, and I was never happy. So for me, that's not even a thing. I think it's about seeing those opportunities, making those change, being able to have a personal brand that allows me to do events like this and be known and people come up to me and know who I am. For me, that's everything.
So just on that, is there not a plaque out there that would, so a YouTube plaque or what's the TikTok equivalent? There's a TikTok.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think there is a plaque because I've received a lot of recognition for the work I've done.
Yeah.
For example, I got the Special Recognition Award for the Department for Education, which was amazing, over the moon, so out of the blue. But I'm very terrible personally at moving the goalpost of what it means to be successful. And so it's not a plaque. I think it's more of the work that I'm doing.
I love that. And what about what opportunities it's opened up for you? So we've talked about speaking gigs and the network and bringing it from there. But weren't you able to go on a certain bus stop as well?
Oh my God, not a certain bus stop, multiple bus stops, the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. Because of my personal brand, I do a lot of work with AAT, and I was very fortunate to have my face on multiple bus stops, around 100 up and down the UK, which was incredible because one was outside my old school and another one was outside my sixth form and another one was outside my mum's work, which was incredible.
Amazing.
But for me, the coolest thing that's happened so far is because of my personal brand and the work and speaking that I'm doing, I have been invited to meet the royal family.
Wow.
First day of Accountex.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's why you can't make our talk.
Yes.
Brilliant. Oh, congratulations. Surely that's got to be an opportunity that you never thought was possible, what, a year ago, 2 years ago?
I mean, even now, I got the email and I audibly gasped. For me, like, that's incredible, and that shows you the power and everything you can do with a personal brand.
So here's a question that I always get asked is, you've obviously put yourself as a very knowledgeable accountant. You can understand and you can help clients out, and part of your brand as well is helping other people come through the industry, right? How are you going to maintain that level of, this is the Grace Hardy level? Like, how are you going to do that? How is that going to trickle down to the rest of your team? Maybe clients that come through later down the line that you may never even have, as you grow, as you get bigger, that you may never even have contact with. How are you going to make sure that that personal brand is always going to be consistent going forward?
So for me, my personal brand aligns with my values, and values are a part of culture. So it's just integrating that into the culture of the business and making sure that everyone knows financial education comes first, and that's at the core of what we do.
And how are you delivering that financial education?
A number of ways. So we host regular webinars for our clients. We do monthly newsletters, obviously content online as well, and making sure that we're having those conversations that no question is a stupid question. This is a safe space to ask, open up, and be educated.
I love that. And how do you get over clients who see you coming to events like this and, you know, visiting the Queen or whatever it's going to be? How do you get over the fact that sometimes those clients feel like you're just always about everywhere? You're not sat there in front of a computer waiting to answer their question each time. Is it something you've instilled from day one, or how have you been able to kind of tackle that negativity that can come back from the fact that you are showing how successful you are pushing the boundaries? How have you been able to deal with that bit?
I think for me, a lot of other clients are showing how successful they are. A lot of them are very front-facing, so they understand and they're actually really supportive. but it's also setting those boundaries from day one. So, for example, I've set those boundaries with the client that I'm at FAB for 2 days and I've put my out of office on, and anything you need to be done is not going to be done this week. And that's fine because everything else is done. I think it's just setting those expectations.
I love that. I love that. Brilliant. Well, I think we've got 5 minutes left. So if there is any more questions or any questions you want to bring up, then...
What do you see the future of your personal brand? Because obviously you've delved into so many things. Where do you want to go? Do you want to pivot or stay on the same track?
I definitely need to pivot. That is definitely something I need to do. But my biggest concern I have at the moment is my strongest brand, the QuickBooks chap, is also the brand that's probably at its capacity. Can't go any further. Like, it's hit its ceiling. There's only so far that you can take a brand that, if I look at the brand itself, QuickBooks, we're level on subscriptions and subs and everything else goes with it. So I 100% need to pivot. It's taking that risk of when do you do it?
Yeah.
And do you nuke it and start again? Or do you try
and
do a rebrand? But then if you've joined Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chat, for QuickBooks tips and tricks, and you rebrand to something else. Yeah, exactly. It's always going to be difficult. I mean, I could be the zero chat, but I don't quite.
You don't have to tie yourself to a brand.
Exactly. And I should never have done that in the first place, right? And from a learning point of view, it's not the way to do it. But it gave me an opportunity to bridge the gap from absolutely no one would listen to me to at least now I have authority. So you got to take these chances, right?
100%.
But yeah, the brand I care about is the Asset Accountant brand. That's the one I want to grow. That's the one that I feel like it's got enough legs in it and everything else. So yeah, just got to put your energy into the right brand, right?
100%. Love that for you.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming along to this little podcast. It wasn't as fighty as I was expecting it to be. I was ready for a fight.
Just too nice.
Yeah. There should be more punching and
aggressive.
Yeah.
What's your worst comment you've ever had?
Oh, I love that question. So my worst comment that I've ever had was I was paid for that. That really hurts me when I get told that one. That, I've got an opinion on X and I was paid to say that.
Oh.
That really...
You were like, I wish I was paid, sweetie.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also... all of your personal branding has been about honesty and integrity and everything else. That's what your personal brand is built on, right? To then be questioned literally on the dime of saying I've been paid to say that particular thing really did irk me. But I'm sure yours is a lot worse. What's your worst comment that you've had?
I actually don't think I can probably say it out loud.
Anything that's PG allowed?
I don't think many of them are PG. It's just a lot of people saying, is it your dad's company? No, it's not. A lot of people saying, you don't get your money from accounting, you get your money from OnlyFans. I don't. And then a lot more PG ones I couldn't say out loud.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah. I think, yeah. It's a horrible world out there, isn't it? The comment section of any social media. But yeah, I can imagine yours is even worse than most. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. You can find me on social media under Grace Hardy or the Unconventional Podcast.
Love that.
That's pretty much it.
And my name is Aaron Patrick. As always, if you want anything else to do with the world of FAB or anything to do with the event space within accounting, you're in the right place. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you in the next video.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for coming along.